Hare Krishna, everyone. For those who are present here and for those who would be watching this on the video, we welcome you for this weekly Saturday session of Bhagavad Gita. Let's start with um, the Kirtan and then we'll get started. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I would request everyone to sing along and clap your hands because as we clap our hands, our karmic lines in our hands are changing. Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare. I'm just muting everyone. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajacharya Ashtottara Sata Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Abhay Charan Arvinda Shila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajacharya Ashtottara Sata Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Shila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai Kalyug Pavan Hare Krishna Mahamantra Ki Jai. We'll start with some invocation prayer and then we'll go to the Hari Katha. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalan श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद Hare Krishna, everyone raise your hands. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं हरि ओं तत्सत् नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयो मुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोप कुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining. Hare Krishna, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. Um, we have Kite Prabhu also, so thank you, Kite Prabhu, and Dhruva Mataji, Prakash Prabhu from Coimbatore, um, Ashok Keshav Charan Prabhu from India, and Lal Mohan Prabhu from India. Thank you all very much. So, once again, on a Saturday, we have all gathered together, and I can understand that you are also sincere, that okay, you are willing to hear the Hari Katha, the Krishna Katha, the the words of the Bhagavad Gita. So we are here to hear those, and what is the effect of those words? These words purify our heart. And today we are going to discuss about what exactly, I mean, when we do anything, always many times I've mentioned this, that there has to be a definite purpose. Um, we have an we have an athlete here amongst us. So um, when an athlete is is participating in a sport, it is not that like okay they participate that okay I'll participate I'll also be as a participant and somehow or other I can I will I will somehow uh, whether I'm first or last, I it's good that I participated in it. Well, that is not a bad idea. That's a good idea. But when someone is participating, they're participating for a purpose. They want to win in that competition, right? So, and why I'm saying about this? Because this is the objective of the participation. So today we are going to talk about like, okay, the objective like, okay, from that why we are here to study. Because unless and until this purpose is clear in our heart, many of you, like I see that I have mentioned this earlier that okay, many of you like okay, you have been attending regularly for months, for years, and some of you have recently joined, but some of you like okay, who are very very regular, they they also like okay tend to kind of notify that okay I'm not going to be there, because they feel that okay they feel the absence like okay I'll be missing that. That means they're seeing the value of this in their life. Okay, and it is not about, I'll be very honest, it is not about me speaking about it. You could be anywhere like okay, when we are taking sadhu sangha, like in your association I am also trying to take the association of Srila Prabhupada, what Srila Prabhupada has given. And Srila Prabhupada has already given this divine transcendental knowledge. And what is my role? My role is just like a postman. What does a postman do? The postman brings letter. Like we see in US, it is in India they call it postman. In US they call it the USPS person. The USPS vehicle, they bring those letters and they just put the respective letters in different mailboxes. Okay, so and when we in India, there is also a concept, like, okay, the concept is called money order. So when the postman is bringing a money order, he has cash and he is supposed to deliver those cash to someone. When he's carrying those cash, it is not that the cash is his money. The cash is, it has been given by someone and he has to give it to the recipient of the actual cash. He may have like $100,000. I mean, just I'm making it up, but he may have $100,000, but that $100,000 does not belong to the postman. So in similar way, I'm just trying to like my role here is just as your servant in order to share what I have received, like, okay, from the Guru Parampara, from Srila Prabhupada. So those of you who do not have this book, like, okay, Bhagavad Gita, I would highly recommend that you have this book, because this book, I really want to say that this book really saved me, it changed my life. And whatever I'm going to talk in today's session, this is very important. Um, See, the thing is, we have talked about earlier, um, and I mentioned this, like, okay, even within, I request you all to hear this attentively. And those of you who have the camera on, I can see you. Uh, when we hear the words of Bhagavad, Bhagavad Gita, like, okay, very attentively from the right source, then what happens? The purification happens within our heart. And as a result of this purification, what happens? When the impurities are gone, the anxieties, lamentation, okay, these things are all gone with the impurities. So we become very, very joyful. We become very blissful. One who is trying to remember Krishna, okay, the result of that is all the anarthas means all the unwanted things in the heart dissipate. And as a result of that, what happens is he becomes extremely joyful, he becomes very blissful. And that is a very, very characteristics which we don't have to show, but which we can internally feel within our heart. So, so with that being said, let us get started. Is everyone able to hear me? Just maybe you can show your thumbs up and just confirm. Okay, fine. Thank you very much for confirming. So, uh, so in this purpose, See, some of these things we may have discussed about these earlier, but I wanted to bring it up because what happens is we have to accept one thing that okay, we are in the Kali Yuga, and in this Kali Yuga, apart from many other wonderful distresses that we have been given, because in Kali Yuga, a person has Srimad Bhagavatam says in Kali Yuga, people are very unfortunate. People are very short-lived. Okay, because in the previous yugas, people used to just in the previous yuga, Dwapar Yuga, people had lifespan of 1,000 years. The previous to that was Treta Yuga, where people had lifespan of 10,000 years. And even prior to that, in Satya Yuga, they had lifespan of 100,000 years. So compared to that, 100 years is nothing, and 100 years is max. And nowadays, if you see, like, okay, not many people live up to 100 years. It is said that as the Kali Yuga progresses, the lifespan will get shorter and shorter. And then people have less memory. So some of these things, like, okay, we have discussed in the past, but I want you to hear it very attentively. If we know, if we are able to correlate with some of these things that I talk about, then please understand that Bhagavad Gita is for you. Okay, so in order to understand it very, very clearly, I want you to stay focused as we are. And one of the ways of staying focused is like, okay, be attentive. Like, okay, sometimes like, okay, I do this personally when we have this. Many of you know that if we have this morning japa sessions. So in the japa sessions, like I try to turn on my camera. Sometimes I feel very sleepy. In some cases, I've even slept in on camera. But at least I know that if someone is watching, I'm trying to be always conscious of the fact that okay, I'm being watched by all of you. So let me try to at least look sincere. If sincerity is absent from my heart. So with that being said, let's start. So the purpose of the Bhagavad Gita is we are all suffering in this material world. We'll come to like what are the sufferings. But one who tries to question, like, okay, is there anyone I want to ask? Like, is there anyone here like who thinks they are not suffering in this world? They can raise the hand. Okay, I don't see anyone raising the hand. So I would think like, okay, everyone is in agreement. So so if someone is trying to understand that okay, what is it that is really responsible for this? So we touched upon this point slightly last week when we were discussing. At that time, Dhruva Mataji asked few questions in this regard, like, okay, past life and things like that. So what is the actual cause of suffering? And see, like when we join in a organization, right? We are concerned with like, okay, I joined here as a team member. What is my next position? Like, okay, how do I know I'm progressing? Oh, next thing is like if I do well, then I will get a project manager position. Or if I still do well, I will get a program manager position, then maybe a VP or something like that. So what is the destination from this? Like, okay, I'm doing all these things, like, okay, but where am I going to? So if someone is thinking on these lines, then Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita to answer this kind of queries, like, okay, and to make Arjuna understand what is his position and relieving him from his miseries. So we spoke in the previous session. For those who did not attend the previous session, I would suggest, like, okay, we spoke in the previous session. What was the setup in which the Bhagavad Gita was spoken? So before we actually get into Bhagavad Gita, this is the preludes to make sure that okay, to get into that consciousness where we are able to absorb Bhagavad Gita. One of the main takeaway from the previous session was one can understand Bhagavad Gita if one develops that love that Arjuna had for Krishna. Okay, as much, see, we may not have so much love for Krishna, but as much love that we have for Krishna, right? If we think that, okay, when this conversation between Arjun and Krishna is happening, it is a conversation. And if we feel that, okay, if we want to be part of it, we can sit at the lotus feet of Arjun and try to understand, okay, what is Arjun thinking? Okay, when Krishna is saying, what is he saying about this? Okay, now Arjun is saying this. Think about his mindset. And Prabhupada reveals what is happening, what are the intricate details that is happening. So, in order to understand that, let us take a step back. So, in general, like if you see, our Shastra says that, okay, आहार निद्रा भय मैथुनम च सामान्य एतत् पशुभिः नराणाम धर्मो हि तेषां अधिक विशेषो धर्महीनाम पशुभिः समानाम. What that means is that if you look at, there are four things which animals do. What is that? Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Eating, like, okay, we all do. Human beings also does this, eating. Okay. And then animals also do it. Then sleeping. If you see, we eat in nice plates, we have nice dishes, we cook. But animals, like, okay, many times, like, okay, when we have like this food wastage, we don't put it in the trash here. What we have, because these are all prasad. I take it to my, there is a jungle, okay, just there's a forest right behind our house. And so I just put it outside and many animals come and take it. They don't see that, okay, whether it is, how good it is. Even if it is rotten, they come and eat it. Okay. But they're having prasad. And then there is sleeping. We sleep in nice beds. We have seen many times animals sleep in very terrible conditions. Like, okay, it is winter now. It is sub-zero temperature here in Michigan, and animals, like many times we see squirrels. They're sleeping on tree. Like, okay, they're shivering, and still they're sleeping there. But they're also sleeping. Okay, then there is mating. Okay, human beings, they mate. Like, okay, they are in their private places, but then animals, like, okay, many times, like, okay, they mate in public places. And then there is defending. Animals, like, okay, if you have seen many times, like, okay, if you go towards some small puppies, if they're just born, their mother comes to attack, like, okay, the mother is very concerned, like, okay, that, oh, is my child is being attacked. You may just go with a nice intention, but the mother doesn't know. She's very, very concerned. Same thing, like, okay, we also have defense. And what are our defense mechanisms? Defense mechanism is like, we have all this ADT security. Okay, we have doors, right? The animals do not have, they do not live in houses. They live in, like, okay, whichever places, like, okay, they have their colonies. Okay, they may sleep in street. So these, if it says this verse that I quoted is from the Vedas, especially from Hitopadesh, like it says that eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. These four things, even animals are doing. This is common between animals and human beings. If human being is only involved in eating, sleeping, mating, defending, then then we are at the same level as the animals. Okay. But if we have something beyond this, then in that case, we can transcend, like, okay, whatever animals are doing. And in some cases, if you see, animals are very, very sophisticated also in this. Beyond this, like, okay, sometimes, like, okay, animals, uh, elephant, if you see in terms of strength, it is, we cannot compare, like, okay, the strength that elephant has. If we see a leopard, the kind of speed that a leopard runs, we cannot compare that. If we take, for example, the birds that are flying, we do not have flying abilities, but they have. So they have better abilities than us also in some cases. And so if you see, like, okay, in terms of strength, like elephant can be given first rank in that. And if you see, like, human beings, like, okay, like we have all this different, nowadays this mobile technology, so many advancement in mobile technologies are there. They are there in every, like most of us, or rather each of us have our own cell phones. and it is so sophisticated. Like, okay, I am sitting in another corner of the world and you are in the different part of the world, but we are all connected. Even we can see each other. Like that is where, like, okay, human beings have advanced um, in terms of the technology. So, but the animals, they cannot inquire beyond. They cannot inquire about this life. Like, okay, what is beyond this life? Okay, let's come and understand this. Okay, but the human beings can. Okay, what is beyond this death? Animals cannot inquire about this, but human beings can. So, as a human, the animals won't be able to inquire about, like, okay, what is causing my suffering, because many times we see, if we are driving on the road, many times we see so many animals are getting killed. They are in roadkill. Okay, they are being knocked out by some vehicle. Can we imagine what kind of pain it is? Let's say a family member of ours, like, okay, they have just gone, like, okay, and we have not told them anything. There is a little child, like, who is playing outside the house. He happens to run across the road and is hit by the vehicle. If we do not have any doors, how pathetic it will be, right? So we try to educate kids. No, 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 don't go there, don't go there. Like, okay, from the childhood, we try to cultivate those things, because we know that there is a pain involved. Like, okay, if the child attempts to do that. So human beings with their higher intelligence, what they do is they try to find out what are the causes of the sufferings. I mean, how do I inquire the purpose of the life? And what is God? How do I harmonize my life with God and nature so that I can be happy? Okay. And happy also, no one wants to be like happy for this moment and then next moment they are dull, right? Everyone is looking for permanent happiness. Okay. So, uh, and and trust me, like, okay, whatever everyone is doing around us with their own consciousness is for something that is making them happy. We are all so inclined to being happy that even if someone is doing a murder, behind that murder, he is trying to rob someone and he's trying to become happy in that. It's a different thing that, okay, he does not know what is right and what is wrong because he is in an ignorant state. So we will understand, like, okay, slowly, like, okay, Krishna is defining what is that ignorance. What is it that you are thinking right but you are wrong? How can you come out of this? Because if we are in the ignorant stage, think about this, it is like a darkness. Okay, and in the darkness, how do you come into light? When there is a candle light brought in. And that is why, like, when we start this class, the first prayer that we sing is Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So we are, the meaning of this is Om Ajnanatimirandhasya. I am born in the darkness of ignorance. I am in ignorance and I am in darkness. But I was shown this candle, like, okay, Chakshur Unmilitam. My eyes opened. When what happened? There was this light brought in. Jnananjana Shalakaya. And what is this candle light? It is the light of knowledge. And who brought this light of knowledge? It is Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. It is being brought by the Guru, by the spiritual master. And who is that spiritual master? That is Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. He is enlightening us. See, think about it. Let me give you a very simple example. Let's say here, like, how many of you really work, like, you work for a living? I know we have Lal Mohan Prabhu and Ashok Keshav Chandra Prabhu who have now retired, but out of the other members, you can raise your hand. How many of you really work? You earn money, right? Okay. We have Param Prabhu is raising the hand, and maybe I'm hoping, like, okay, I know we have students also here, and Kite Prabhu also. I'm sure, like, okay, you must be working somewhere or the other. And Prakash Prabhu, I am not sure. So when we um, when we are making our living through work, let's say there is suddenly the job market crashed. We do not have a job. Okay. And now there is a recession that we have hit into. In this situation, what is what is the s- and now everywhere in news we are getting, oh, unemployment, oh, so much, oh, these many people lost job, GM laid out, like, okay, laid off so many people, Ford laid off, this company laid off, that company laid off, and all the bad news you are receiving. Now, would it be very impressive or would it be very depressing? Or like you may be in some company where you are hearing that, okay, oh, these people are getting laid off. Now, many people in that situation, what they do is they they seek guidance from someone, right? And some of it in India, many people go to astrologer. Can you see, like, okay, what does the astrology tell me? I do not have a job, and if the person is expert, he may be able to tell something like, okay, okay, what like for the next 3 4 months, like, okay, it is bad timing, after that you might get a job. Now you may find solace, oh, so for next 3 to 4 months only I have to suffer, after that I will have happiness. And those words give our heart solace. Now that is only if you, there are good astrologer. Nowadays there are many cheaters also around. I know there is one person from our group, he was mentioning me on a funny side. He was telling that, okay, he went to an astrologer to ask something because he was recommended by some people, but whatever the astrologer told, he ended up doing that, and then he's lost his job, he everything started going haywire. So but anyways, coming back to this, we are looking for happiness. There is no one, is there anyone, like, okay, who is looking for sadness, like, okay, oh, it's been a long time, I have not been sad, please show me some way by which I can be sad? No, there's no one like that. Every one of us is looking for happiness in every situation. And if our happiness, if something tries to interrupt with our happiness, that's where we become either angry, sometimes mad, sometimes frustrated, right? Different type of things. So we, in this human life, we have the option to make the inquiry of how we can be promoted to a higher life. Now, who does not want a higher type of form of life? And let's take this for example, that everyone wants good luxury. Okay, let's say um, in if we are living in a 2 bedroom hall kitchen, yeah, we want, our desire is that, okay, yeah, if we could get to a 4 bedroom hall kitchen, that's even better, right? Um, would it be our desire that, okay, we get into a from 2 bedroom hall kitchen, let us get into a condo or a 1 bedroom with no hall and no kitchen? No, no one wants like that. Everyone is looking for comforts. Everyone is looking for a higher type of life. So in this human life, if one makes an inquiry, how can I be promoted to a higher life? That is that gives one an option to understand, okay, this is what I need to do to go to it. If one is not making any inquiry, then what happens? One lives in ignorance, and slowly in ignorance, they are going to go to the demoted to the lower forms of life. So I want to specify what is this higher and lower mean here. Higher forms of life means, see, this human life, that human form of life that we have, it is a very rare form of life. We are not guaranteed that we will have human birth in our next human life, a human body in our next life. We could get an animal body. Think about it. We are in an animal body. Now, we have all been in animal bodies in the past. Okay. In this birth, we are in a human body. That's what Bhagavad Gita says. And we could be demoted to an insect body. We could be demoted to a tree body. So think about it, tree. Now we are in this peak of winter. And if we are in this tree body, what kind of situation it could be? I mean, the tree, whether whether it's in the peak of winter or in the peak of summer, it is always standing in one place. Can you imagine what kind of, I mean, for some time we were in a lockdown during the COVID period. and kids and adults and everyone, they're like, okay, we want to go out. We can't be like this, right? That is our tendency. So, so the so the point is that, okay, we as human beings, we have the choice to make the inquiry, how I can be promoted to a higher life, how I can be always happy. I don't want to be sad at any point. And that choice is ours. The choice, if we take that choice or if we do not take that choice, that will decide our future. So, so just to summarize, so far we were talking about, like, okay, the human personality. Like, okay, this person is always thinking of, why am I suffering? Because many times, have you seen people, like, okay, who are cast into difficult situation? When we are in difficult situation, the first question, obviously, if we are rationally thinking, then the first question that comes to our mind is, why am I suffering? Why am I going through this? I've never harmed anyone. That's how we think. Okay, this person could be a terrible criminal, but still this person will think like this. I have never done anything bad. Okay, why am I going through this? And this thing, if someone is getting this thought, the Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada is saying that, okay, that person is qualified to understand Bhagavad Gita so that they are able to come out of this. Everyone wants to come out of this. That is the thing. So let us venture this um, slightly more into this. What are the real problems in our life, right? So if in today's world, like if you see, there are so many, we know there is, if we look at 20 years back, generally people will be having issues which are more bodily problems, like, okay, they are diseases related to the body. But these days, people have a lot of mental health problems. And this mental health problem is a dangerous thing, right? Everywhere you might be seeing. And Bhagavad Gita is addressing that. So that kind of problems, if you see, someone may say, I do not have a good physique. Okay, I have no job. I'm struggling with my job and like my boss is like this. Someone may come and say, I have so much family problem. Another person may say, I have no money. Okay, I have a job, but they don't pay me well. Yet another person might say, I'm not good looking. No one looks at me. I'm not lovable. Okay. So some student may say, I failed in my exam. See, I studied so much and I failed in my exam. Another person may say, I do not have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Like, these are the different type of challenges that that people come across. But see, I want you to hear this very, very attentively. Are these the real problems? Ah, so so a problem is a real problem if it is fulfilling three criteria. Now let us understand what these real problems could be. A real problem is something that is common to all, okay, that everyone faces, and then no one wants it. Okay, obviously no one wants any problem, but a real problem is something that no one wants it. And why I said no one wants problem, but um, there could be some problems, like, okay, if you see, if it is a rainy season, okay, it is raining outside, and I may not like rain, but the person in the Walmart where they are selling umbrellas, they want it to rain more and more so that they can sell more umbrellas. So it is my problem that I don't like rain, but it is not a problem common to everyone. Sometimes, like we say, right, like, okay, something that is a nectar to one is a poison to another one. So, but we are talking about real problems where no one wants it. And thirdly, nobody can avoid it. Okay. So what are these type of problems? There are four such real problems. And these four problems are birth, death, old age, and disease. Now, I want you to hear this very, very attentively. Birth, death, old age, and disease. These are real problems because these are common to everyone. Now, you might say that, okay, but why are you saying that, okay, no one wants it? Everyone, like, okay, wants children, right? So birth is wanted. But no, we are not talking about those who want children. We are talking about the actual person who is being born. No one wants it, and nobody can avoid it. No one wants disease, no one wants death, right? And no one wants old age either. So birth, old age, disease, and death, these are the four common problems. And why does person not want birth? Because in the at the time of COVID, we were locked down. We were in lockdown for few months. Okay, sometimes few days also, and things were we were getting better news, and we were going for a grocery or things like that. We would go for groceries. But think about a newly born child, right? When doctors show the sonogram, USG ultrasonogram, right? The child is just compressed like this, sitting inside the mother's womb in such a compressed, ultra compressed way. It's so difficult. Just feel the child. Okay, we were that child. We were in that situation in the past for 9 months. It's not easy. Do we want to be in that situation? Just compressed. Like, okay, we are wherever we are there. Whatever food the mother is eating, the child gets it. Okay, if the mother eats something very spicy, the child's skin burns. The child starts shaking like this. The child is urinating, passing stool in the same place and is sitting on that. Can we imagine? Like we are in the same place. Forget about we being compressed state. Like if we are in the same room, we are passing urine stool. Like, okay, there is nothing to wash that away. Could be it could be terrible experience. But as a child, we have all undergone that situation. And so having like I want to show you something here, like okay, because then we understand what kind of situation one goes through. I want to share this. Are you all able to hear me? I think we have a new member actually joined. Jay, uh, do you want to unmute yourself and introduce yourself? Jay, Hare Krishna. I'm not sure if you're able to hear me, but if you can hear me, you can unmute yourself and you can introduce yourself. Okay. Um, so we can we can just see this, what the child undergoes at the time of birth. Just try to hear, like, just try to understand, like, okay, this one. You can just show me a thumbs up, then I'll know that, okay, you can see my screen. Um, can someone confirm, like, okay, is it, I can't see anyone. Okay, fine. All right, thanks. So this is the challenge at the time of birth. monster. Our child suffers intolerable. We have all been in that situation. Our skin must be soft if we are beaten by the moms. Child is not and the child that world. That
Hare
is
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Sorry to interrupt you. I didn't get you nothing when while you are speaking, while you were speaking before about the baby born difficulties, because I heard the loud voice to the video.
Okay. Where was everyone else able to hear me?
No, Prabhuji. During the video, we were not able to hear you.
Okay, no problem. I will just share this. I want to mention that were you all able to hear the video and you are able to watch the video?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
So in this video, like, okay, what is being depicted is the child from this fifth month, like, okay, the child is undergoing so much suffering. We have all been that child. See, because we did not grow up like one fine day like this. We were all in mother's womb in that compressed state. See, think about it. If we are in this arch shape, like, okay, how much pain it is with no flexibility to move. And as the mother is eating something, the child's skin starts burning. There are so many worms, stool amidst all that the child is there. So birth is a very, very terrible situation for the child who is getting born. And think about it, old age. We when old age strikes, like, okay, no one wants to become old. And as a result of that, just share one thing here. Uh, okay. So no one wants to become old, but at the same time, like, okay, we have no choice. We may want to remain young. Many times, like, okay, when the hair starts falling or when our tooth starts coming, we become very concerned. But is this something that anyone can stop? No. Slowly, like, okay, the organs start operating at lesser than normal. Kidney starts dysfunctioning. Okay, heart function rate stops or it starts reducing. Right? Like, okay, if as we progress into older age, we'll see, like, okay, we have to start taking medications. Nowadays, it is slowly starting, like, because of Kali Yuga, effect of Kali Yuga, it has started from younger age only. So old age is a very problematic thing, and we have two members here who can vouch for that. Lalu Kaku, you want to say something in this regard? Just maybe a statement or so. Would you agree with this?
Yes, yes, yes. I definitely agree. There are problem. There are problem. It's not like that there is no problem. There are problem.
Yes. So old age is like this, and then disease. Now, just think about it. Who wants disease? Like, no one will say that, okay, I want disease. Like, okay, I really wanted corona, but I did not get that. That is a gift that no one really wants. No one wants to encounter any disease. We all want to remain healthy. But then, is it really in our hands? No, it's not in our hands. It is absolutely not in our hands. We just get, like, my children go to school, they get some germs, they bring home, and then we are gifted with that. Everyone goes through the cycle. Okay. And then we have death. Death is something like which no one can avoid. None of us know when death will approach us. We are living in our life as if, like, okay, there is no end to it. Okay. Like some of us, like, okay, we are trying to build a mansion, this thing, like that thing, making financial plans, 20-year plan, 30-year plan, 40-year, and so that my children will get this. But we do not know if we have 20 days left, if we have 20 hours left. Okay. Does anyone know here, like, okay, oh, I know I have till 70 years. Like, can anyone say that? No, none of us know. And in that situation, one who can perceive that these are the real problems, birth, death, old age, and disease, is a first stage approved person, like, okay, that person is in knowledge. Okay, that person has that basic knowledge that, okay, yes, my real problems are birth, death, old age, and disease. The other things that I was worrying about, that really is not a, that really is, they are temporary problems, but they are not the real problems. So, and obviously the other things that are there, and the Bhagavad Gita, what it does, it classifies them into the threefold miseries. So those are temporary, but those are also there. So let us look into what these are. Why I'm going through this, I may have covered some of these things in the past, but I'm covering this again so that we are all clear that why we need this Bhagavad Gita in our life, why it is such a severe urgency. We have absolutely no idea how many moments we have. And if we are not taking this seriously, what are we being deprived of? So, going into this, the threefold miseries, let me go ahead and share my screen. So, the threefold miseries in our life are Adhyatmika Klesha, that means miseries due to body and mind. Okay. Then Adi Bhautika Klesha, miseries due to other living entities. And third is Adi Daivika Klesha, that is miseries due to natural disaster. So let us see what these are. Adhyatmika Klesha is miseries due to our body and mind. So we know that, okay, sometimes we have physical issues, heart attacks, physical health problems. Okay. And due to mental problems, it could be anxiety, stress, depression. We are uh, we need mental health issues. So there are some statistics also that are shown here. As you can see, out of 751 youth, 405, almost 51%, 54% are struggling with this. You can see the youth like that. There are so many teen suicide rates have tripled in the past 25 years. These are statistics. These are not whatever Bhagavad Gita is in action, actually. Whatever Bhagavad Gita is saying, this is out there actually for all of us to see. And so there are so many different types of miseries due to the body and mind. And I'm just displaying some of these heart issues, okay, these suicides, stress, right? And we did not go into much details because every one of you know these. And what about the miseries due to other living entities? This is Adi Bhautika Klesha. So there it could be miseries due to animals, worms, right? And then, like, people whom we are surrounded with, they could be misbehaving with us. Okay. Then there is so much terrorized activities, like, okay, genocide activities happening in Bangladesh. It's terrible. What to talk about mosquitoes, which causes malaria, coronavirus, right? Then we have sometimes, like, this person, as you see, like, okay, she is busy doing something, someone is doing a pickpocket. Okay. Or like, okay, you get into a hand scuffle and someone you are fighting, suddenly someone hits you. So these are all adi, these those were adi bhautik klesha. And then now we are looking into adi daivik klesha, miseries due to natural disaster, which we do not have any control. Okay, we think like we are the doer of everything, but then I have seen there was this earthquake in 2001. I was in Gujarat, and there were so many high-rise buildings in Ahmedabad that were destroyed like anything. They all died, like they like hundreds and thousands of people died. In the place which was the epicenter of that, Bhuj, some villages disappeared. Okay, some people who used to live, they no longer live. We have seen hurricanes, these tsunamis, there are floods. All of these are, we are not unknown to these. So these are Adi Devika Klesha. These are, we are constantly suffering through these. And 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 we try to make temporary solutions through this, right? Like somehow we try to make temporary solutions. Oh, disease is there, we put together like medicines, like we go to a good doctor, we all want good doctor, like okay, let's go to a best heart surgeon, right? So if there are problems, like okay, like I know, like old age, like okay, problem are there, like okay, hairs are getting grayed, we use hair dye. Okay, or sometimes like there's wrinkles coming up, there are nowadays like so many facelift applications available. If there is a pain, we are having back pain or this pain, like, okay, we use painkiller, like, okay, right? Or if we are feeling very sick, breathlessness or so, what do we do? In US, we call 911. And then they will come out like with their oxygen tubes, masks, right? But can we stop old age? Science and technology cannot stop old age. See, we have to come outside of the picture of what science can do. Science cannot stop old age, no matter who we are. Okay, it cannot eradicate disease per se from the earth. And let's say, what about it? It hardly has, science hardly has any understanding of this life and death. Like, okay, what will sustain life? Can anyone's death be stopped? Like those multi-millionaires or so, whomever are our ideals, have we seen anyone like who has not died? No. Have we seen the Bollywood stars, the Hollywood stars, like who are living like it's been 150 years, 500 years, like they were the 500 years back also, they were the superstars and they are still the superstar. No, they died and people forgot about them. Why I'm saying that? Okay, because if we have to wake up to this point. Okay, I am also going to die and I am also going to get forgotten. But if we think about this as the bodies as matter, then that is, if we just think that the body is just made up of matter, like we are, then that's it, like okay, everything is finished at the time of death. But the Bhagavad Gita goes beyond this very, very limited understanding of what the material science does. Bhagavad Gita is saying that, okay, we are not just these material bodies. We are spirit soul, which is encaged within this material body. Each of us are spirit soul, which is encaged within this material body. And the spirit soul is our real identity. So we do not die when this material body stops to function. Please hear this very, very carefully. We do not die when this material body stops to function. If I was sharing experiences, like, okay, last week Dhruva Mataji had a lot of questions, like, okay, and at one point of time I had to stop the recording and I had to share a few things. But I have, like, there are practical experiences where I have seen people like who have had out of body experiences where I personally experienced people who demonstrated they went outside the body, and as soon as they went outside the body, okay, at that time the dog started barking, howling as if they could see something. Okay, and this person told me like, just see, as soon as this soul leaves my body, the dogs will start howling, but as soon as I return back to this body, the dogs will stop barking. So when the soul left the body, at that time the dog started howling. This person had practically no heartbeat at all. And the dog started howling, and after 15 minutes, like the soul was back into the body and the dog stopped barking. This person was breathing normally. Okay, these are all signs actually, but these are all part of the Ashtanga Yoga. These are higher sciences, but there are bhakti is far more higher than this. A bhak in bhakti, one transcends that level also, and we are talking about that science. So in this spiritual science, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying that we are just we our real identity being spirit soul, we are just changing bodies, just like we change dresses every day. We change dress every day, okay, and the real identity is what we see is our body, and we are changing dresses. Similarly, the soul also keeps changing the bodies. If we look at it, I will just share one screen so that we can all correlate with this. So you can see that as we were children, right? When before even we were born, it is the same personality. We might remember, we may have memories from our childhood, some memories from our as we were growing in a teenager, as we were growing as an adult, we may have some memories. Some of us are in our middle ages, some of us are in our senior citizenship. Okay, so we have memories. Our body has changed, but think in your mind, have I changed? Am I not the same person? Yes, I am that same person, because from a soul perspective, we are that same person. Our body's outlook has changed. See in this picture, you can correlate where you are. But as you have the experiences from the previous portions of your life, it is that same person as who has captured those experiences through the years. And similarly, that soul has captured many experiences through many lifetimes, which we may not be able to remember in a conscious state, but subconsciously those are all there. Those deeper samskars are out there. So that being said, that is our current state. And what happens to us at the time of death? See, this is very, very important, that at the time of death, what happens is we are just this when the soul leaves the gross body behind and it is taken to another womb based on the quality of desire stored in the subtle body. It is just like one person, like, okay, I know, like I used to drive a two-wheeler when I was in my school days. uh, First I would drive a bicycle, and then like I would drive a two-wheeler, and then now I'm driving a four-wheeler, okay, which is like a car, right? So sometimes, like if I'm moving from one place, I may be driving those bigger vehicle, a truck, but it is the same me. So similarly, at the time of death, it is that same person, like, okay, I'll be transferred to a different womb. That is all that is happening. So it is, if we understand this, then what can happen is, if we understand this fact, whatever I just said, then no matter who we are, we will have no fear at the time of death. Okay, what is there? See, no matter where our destination is, but we know that, okay, we are going to another body, we are going to get, because many people think, oh, it's everything is over. No, it is not over. It is not over yet. The journey continues. And the spirit soul moves from one body into another. So, and on what basis is the soul awarded the next body? I want to share this. I want to share this with you. Let me share my screen. So in the Bhagavad Gita, this is very wonderfully explained. On what basis is the soul awarded the next body? It is based on whatever it is in the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, Krishna is telling to Arjun, that state he will attain without fail, which means whatever is our last thought at the time of leaving the body, we will attain that body. Okay, that is the verdict of Bhagavad Gita. So, and now what is the last thought? How can we plan for the last thought to be good? And what is the good thing? So if many people this at the time of dying, they think that, okay, oh, what will happen to my wife? In the next birth, this person is born as a wife of someone. What will happen to my child? That person has to come back to this world as a child. Okay, sometimes, okay, in this way, many people take birth in the same families. So we accept one body after quitting another, depending on the desires in the mind. This is one reason, whatever desire we had. And second is, it is based on our karma, whether good or bad karma. So based on that good or bad karma, our desire can be fulfilled or it will go in a waiting state. It will be fulfilled at a later state. So this karma is something like think about it like this. It's a bank balance. How many points you have? See, let's say if someone is earning $5,000 in a month, and for the timing, let's forget about the concept of any mortgage or any loans. Okay, if he has to buy a car, what is the maximum amount in which he can buy a car? 5,000. He cannot buy a $50,000 car. Okay, so the desires of a person are fulfilled to the extent like, okay, he has good karmas. Similarly, the sufferings that he gets is all whatever he has acquired bad karmas. So based, why we talked about this? Because we accept when we go into the next body, it is dependent on what are our karmas. And this law of karma, okay, which we will go into detail, is very much oh, I am just seeing Kite has sent one message. Jay asked if you can hear him. No, I could not hear Jay in case Jay was speaking. Yeah, Jay will have to unmute and share like if he was speaking something. But we'll come to that actually. I hope like Jay, if you are able to hear us, you can just show thumbs up digitally. So the law of
I
karma.
put that.
Yes, Kite.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say I put that message in the chat. If you can see the chat, if you couldn't hear you.
Okay. Sure, got it. So in this law of karma, this is a very, very intricate type of thing. And we will go into the details of this. But we want to address this that, okay, in this life, we have see, like, just like animals have, right? Animals get like even rotten food. They'll go ahead and eat it. But we as human beings, we are able to discriminate. Hey, this food is rotten. I can't eat rotten food, right? I can see like, okay, it has got like many times we have bread, right? It has got fungus in it. Will we go and eat that? No. will not eat that. So a human being has got a developed intelligence that, okay, that I can discriminate that this is good, this is bad. So, but if one engages in sinful activities, then in that case, laws of karma acts on this. So let us see what is considered sinful in this. I want to share this slide actually so that, like, okay, we can see. So the scriptures say, like, okay, Bhagavad Gita is saying there are 4 pillars of sinful life. What are those? They are meat eating, they are intoxication, gambling, and then illicit sex. These are the 4 pillars of sinful life. And what happens as a result of this? We get inflicted in bad karmas. That means bad karma means negative points, which means in very future course of action, in very future course, we will have to undergo a suffering. Okay, many times we feel that, okay, oh, these are all nonsense. I am anyway doing all of these, and, like, okay, I have never had to come across any of these problems in my life. Right? We may feel, right, like many may feel that, and maybe all of you are you may not be committing all this, but many who may watch this video, they may feel, oh, this is nonsense. But let me give you one example. If a bank robbery happens, okay, the robbers go and rob the bank, okay, then what happens? They have robbed, they ran away, they took all the money, and then now what happens? The police is called, and then they take some time to investigate. When they investigate, they will thoroughly investigate fingerprints, and it might take them few months to investigate, sometimes few years. But then they find out, that those are the persons. And then what happens? They catch him, and then they put real punishment for them. So it's only a matter of time. And also, Bhagavad Gita says, see, in the law of in this material world, sometimes in the material world, the justice may not happen. But in the law of nature, no one can escape that. Okay, one has to go through that. So how can we come out of this? So we can come out of this by following 4 principles. And what are those 4 principles? If we follow these 4 principles, then in that case, our life can be very, very successful, and we can attain the perfection in this life. What is the perfection of the life? Perfection of the life is, see, we are so far, like, we talked about this, the real problems: birth, death, old age, and disease, right? So these are the real problems. But if anyone has to take birth, okay, he has to go through death, okay, he has to undergo disease, he has to undergo old age, but in addition to that, he is inflicted with all these other problems, like, okay, that the 3 types of miseries that we talked about: Adhi Atmika, Adhi Bhautika, and Adi Daivika, which means problem due to body and mind, problem due to other living entities, and problem due to natural disaster. We don't want it, but we'll be inflicted in those problems, and we have to go through those. One who is thinking that, okay, I don't want problem, he has to, that person is intelligent. And if the person going through problem, and he's thinking that, okay, what can I do about it? If someone is like this, right, okay, what can I do about it? I have nothing to do. Then in that case, is that a intelligent thing, or is that a foolish thing? It's a foolish thing. They're not doing anything about it. Which is why Krishna, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he's most concerned about each and every one of us. He loves us so much. We had this class like 2 weeks back. He loves us so much that he wants us to come out of the problem. And which is the reason he's speaking this Bhagavad Gita. For anyone who is thinking, as I mentioned multiple times today, anyone who is thinking, how can I come out of my suffering? That person is the right audience for hearing Bhagavad Gita. If any person is thinking, okay, I have suffered so much, now I want to come out of this, like, okay, where am I going next? That person is the right audience for Bhagavad Gita. So how can we counteract this? We can counteract this. Let me share this slide with all of you so that we understand what the message is. For those who have heard this attentively, this class, you can see, if we obey the God's laws, the Krishna's law, following these principles, what are these? Austerity. Austerity means like taking some vows, okay, uh, by which we can purify ourselves. So that is, what are those vows? We'll talk about this. Then doing some sacrifice. Okay, if we are just trying to get things from others, okay, that will not do. We have to sacrifice. Okay, and then cultivating knowledge. What are the right knowledge? Understanding those, and then association of saintly people. If we get the association of saintly people, then we will be able to cultivate the knowledge. Then we'll be able to know what are those austerities to perform, what are those sacrifices to do, right? Then only we can understand. So that is the whole purpose, like coming together. And what happens as a result of this? When we do all of this, then what happens? Then we can attain the supreme destination. That means no birth, no old age, no disease, and no death. We come out of the cycle of birth, old age, disease, and death. That is what Bhagavad Gita is for. That is the right audience. So, so, so we learned about, okay, who is the right audience for Bhagavad Gita? What are the different problems in life that Bhagavad Gita is saying? What are the real problems? What are the miseries each person has to go through? Because unless and until we understand, if we don't correlate with this, we won't be able to listen to this. Okay, what is this? What is this nonsense? Like, okay, on Saturday morning, right? No, but if we think that, okay, there is a value, this is what I really want, then we will come to hear it. So in order to come out of this, we need association of saintly people. So let us remember this five-point formula. Association, B is books, having the right books so that we read. We may be going through a lot of things on mobile, but that will not inspire us. Okay. Then third is chanting the holy names. And then fourth is diet. Diet, that means having a sattvic diet, not having a cruelty diet, having diet that is offered to Krishna. And then fifth is engagement, that is doing some service. If we are doing some service or seva, then by doing that, our hearts get purified. We become humbled, and thereby we are able to progress. We are able to absorb this knowledge, because if we are not doing any service, then we won't be able to absorb anything. And so as a result of this, what happens? As a result of doing this, we can reach the highest perfections. Okay, we can please Krishna. And at every moment, if our only prayer is that, Krishna, I really want to become purified because I want to please you. If we want to please Krishna, then what happens? Then Krishna gives this benediction, he gives this blessing, and with this we will stop. This is the last slide I am sharing. Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita 8th chapter, he's saying, after attaining me, O Arjun, the great souls who are yogis in devotion, that means the devotees, they never return to this temporary world. This material world where we are living is a temporary world. That means if we develop devotion in our heart, we never return to this temporary world. And what is the definition of this temporary world? Which is full of miseries. Because and why don't they return to this temporary world? Because they have attained the highest perfection. So if we want to attain the highest perfection is developing bhakti. That means developing love for Krishna. Let this be our prayer from today onwards, that, oh Krishna, please purify me so that I develop intense love for you. I do not want to return to this material world. Okay, and I want to stop here, and I want to ask this question to all of you, that I hope all of you, and I'll just go to the screen where I can see each of you. So I was trying to share this message. What is the purpose of the Bhagavad Gita? So that we are able to take this, we can first see whether this purpose fits with what I am. If this is, then we are a candidate for hearing it regularly. If I am not hearing regularly, if I am just a casual hearer, then in that case, I may not be able to absorb it. I may hear once here, then and once like okay, after 2 3 months, then I may not be able to gather that message in my heart. Okay, but if I say that okay, no, this time I want to dedicate like okay to really uplift myself. I am also facing this challenge and I really want to get myself uplifted. Then that message is for myself. I will be very honest. I I had a very I did not know about Bhagavad Gita, and I was just living my life in my own way at one point of time. And I came in contact with devotees. I got Srila Prabhupada's books, and that changed my life. Srila Prabhupada saved me. Srila Prabhupada, I mean, I'll be very honest, I was on a royal road to hell. What this this I'm a meat eater. I was born a meat eater, but I am not a meat eater. I have taken on to the life that Srila Prabhupada is giving, like that Bhagavad Gita is talking about. It really changed my life because earlier I was afflicted with so many anxieties, depression. Like, okay, I wanted to do really well in work. Okay. And I was making so many special endeavors, like, okay, to please my boss, this guy, that guy, to please everyone around me. But and then despite all that, I saw there were times that were very frustrating. And I was constantly thinking, why am I going through all these things? And Krishna is so merciful. Although I did not know Krishna, I'll be very honest, even I was born in India, I did not know much about Krishna. But then my life changed when Prabhupada entered. Prabhupada sent devotees, and the life became so blissful. So I'm doing this as a service just so that, like, okay, just like, okay, when you have some near and dear ones, like, okay, if you eat something good, you want to share it with near and dear ones. So, like, okay, this is a very, the objective is, like, okay, we come together, we hear, we share, like, okay, what we are gaining here. And that way we all, each other, we feel inspired through that. So with that, I'll stop here. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to Gauranga Kuti Bhakta. That means all glories to you and all glories to all our acharyas. Hare Krishna. So I want to ask if anyone has any comments or any questions, you can raise your hand and then we can take it. Or if none of you have any questions or comments, then we can stop here. Yes, Lalu Kaku? Hare Krishna. You have to unmute and then say.
Yeah, I have a question
Yes.
that our soul at the time of death, until he gets another body to enter, I think it does not leave the earlier body. Is it correct?
No,
The soul
the
soul
soul,
leaves one body and then enter into the another body.
no, that is not how it happens. Hare Krishna. So it's a very nice question. So the soul, and it is a very wonderful question. Please hear this carefully. I hope everyone got the question that after the soul leaves the body, uh, Lalu Kaku's question was that, okay, does the soul does not leave the body till it enters another body, or how does it work?
And second question is that now, uh, now we have to get the punishment in the hell depending on our sinful activities in this life. Though to when is that time? And the soul has to go to hell to get that punishment. That period when is happen? Because soul, when he goes to another body, he will leave the previous body. Then the intermediate his punishment in the hell. When is that happen?
Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Very nice question. So Lalu Kaku is very sincere and is very attentive hearer and is very compassionate towards everyone. So he is asking this question on behalf of everyone. And something that I also need to hear. Hare Krishna. So the soul, when it is described in Bhagavad Gita, and it is described in very elaborate details in Garud Puran, that the soul, when it leaves the body, at the time when the soul leaves the body, we don't get any prior intimation unless one person is, if a person is a very wonderful devotee, if he's a pure devotee, they are given prior intimation. And so that is why pure devotees, I know many devotees, okay, they have left the body. I want to give this to analogy and then I'll come to your question. So there is a devotee, when he left the body, at that time he had gone, he's from South India. So he had gone in a auto rickshaw, which is a three-wheeler vehicle, rented vehicle in India. He had rented that vehicle and he had gone to the temple. It was his daily routine to go to the temple. He was in his advanced stage. So that day, he told the rickshaw person, okay, I want to tell you something. I will go there for meditation. And today, I'm going to leave my body. So after I leave my body, I want you to carry my body back home. Okay. And then he did. And this auto rickshaw wala, he has never heard like this, anyone say like this. So that day he saw what is this person going to do? Because every day he would wait outside. So this person, and he's a devotee from ISKCON. So that day the devotee was from ISKCON. So this auto person went there and he observed, like, okay, what is he doing? So he saw that, okay, he meditated, he chanted the Lord's name, he meditated on Lord, and he immediately gave up his body. And then his body was brought back. Now, what happens for other persons? One who is not a devotee of the Lord, what happens is, please hear this very, very carefully. We may be hearing about terrorists attack, but at the time of death, it is just like a terrorist attack. The messengers of Yamraj, they barge into the house of the body without any prior intimation. They break the door and they come inside. And then think about it, like, okay, if it is us, like, okay, they are trying to pull us, like, okay, and with guns on this, and how much death, how much fearful it will be. And then they start pulling, like, you have to come out like this. And the reflection of this, like, okay, see, the person who is dying, that person cannot say anything. But the reflection of this we see on like those who are surrounding. If you have seen someone dying, you will see that, okay, their mouths are foaming, or their eyes become very big, or they become very scared. Okay? And their soul is being pulled out of the body. And once the soul is out of the body, we call that as death of that body, not the soul. The soul continues its journey. Now, if someone has lived a sinful life, and the sinful life is the pillars of these four things: meat eating, intoxication, gambling, and illicit sex. If one is involving to these things, then they have to be taken by the messengers of hell. It does not matter, like, okay, what religion, what culture they believe. This is the verdict of Bhagavad Gita. And Krishna is saying, Aham Bija Prajapita. I am the seed-giving father of all living entities. He does not say that, okay, I am the seed-giving father of this sect and that sect and humans and animals. No. He is seed-giving father for all living entities. So animals, they do not have to go through this, because animals, they naturally go through this different transgression from one living entity to another. Once one is put into an animal body, they have to go through a natural course of many animal bodies. Several 84 million species are there. So they are locked in for several hundreds and thousands of years into animal bodies. And one gets a lower birth by the choice of, like, okay, these four sinful activities that I mentioned: meat eating, gambling, um, illicit sex, and intoxication. So the messengers, they take him, the messengers of hell, they take him there, and then they um, they them put the right punishment for that. But this journey for that decision making uh, is not immediate. It takes them one year to go to reach hell. It's a long way. It is the timings of our planet and the hellish planets are not the same. Whatever time they are taking in it, it may appear to be they are taking them there, but within that, Earth has completed 1 year cycle. That is why in the Vedic scriptures, it is said, like, okay, there is this annual rituals that are to be done by the family members of those who have passed away. Now, slowly these cultures are going away, and we'll talk about this in Bhagavad Gita. Arjun is talking about this culture. Okay, so when those food, water, they are being done, they are being offered to the one who has died 1 year back in that particular tithi, then the person who has been taken, like, okay, for his judgment, he gets nourishment through that. And it is after that judgment that he is assigned what his next body needs to be. For example, if one commits a suicide, they are not they are not assigned a physical body. They have to live in a ghost body without the physical body. It is a very, very painful situation that the person has to suffer through that. So suicide is very abominable. So this, I hope, Lalukuku, this addresses your first question. That it is not that after you have the next body, then this body will go. No, it is not like that. Depending on
Because
depending on the
because
desire,
hmm,
depending on the desires, depending on the karma of that person, and depending on his past activities, which is the karma itself, he is assigned the next body.
but what I have read in Prabhupada's Beyond Birth and Death, what I have read in Prabhupada's Beyond Birth and Death, and a book is a second chance. In both the books I have written, he is telling that the soul is getting another body and then he is leaving the present body.
Kaku, like you may have read that, but that you may have misread that part actually. It is,
Okay.
yeah, it is,
Okay. I will check and verify. I will check and verify.
yeah, you can check that. That is
Hmm.
that is not what Prabhupada is saying. Prabhupada is clearly explaining this again and again, that the soul moves into the journey, and then like at a at the right time, like he is assigned that body, like, okay. And it is not like it is not always immediate. It could sometimes, Prabhupada also explains in Bhagavad Gita, it is not just that, like, okay, in some cases, like, okay, if the like right now we are in Kali Yuga, this is also explained, like, okay, if at the end of Kali Yuga, this world is going to undergo a complete annihilation, which means destruction. It's not going to happen in next 2 3 years, or it is after 427,000 years. At that time also, what will happen at that time, these souls, like, okay, who are there, their desires and everything will go ahead, where they will be, how they will come into birth. Prabhupada is explaining that. So it is not like, okay, their bodies are all planned then and there itself, like, before they come out of this body. So I hope that addresses your first question.
Yeah.
Can you repeat your second question?
Second question is that soul that leaving the present body and going to the another body, intermediate period, is that go to the hell for punishment? That is my second question. If this is not an immediate matter, there is some time gap between leaving the present body and getting in another body. Is that time gap is the punishment in the hell?
No, 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 no. It is not like that. See, a devotee does not have to go to hell. Okay, that is for sure. A devotee never goes to hell. Unless the devotee is involved in doing, like he's just a devotee just for the namesake, but he is involved in sinful activities. That is a different together. But a devotee who is sincere, who is following the guidelines that are given in Bhagavad Gita, that Srila Prabhupada is given, that person never has to go to hell. Okay, now the question is, if there is a time gap in getting the body, then what happens? So there are many situations like this. See, the thing is, we have to understand there are the timelines in our material world and the timelines in the higher planets or lower planets. They run on different time scale. Okay, like Lord Brahma's 1 year is equal to 8.3 billion years for us. So when he lives for 1 year means 8.3 billion means we may have lived millions of lifetimes or billions of lifetimes. Okay, so when the soul has received the judgment, like, okay, what he has to do, then like, okay, they are either in a unmanifested state where they are waiting for the next body. Okay, but when they are waiting, it's not that, okay, we know that, okay, we are waiting for that. They are in the same state of consciousness. It depends, like, okay, this could be one option, but more than that, like what generally happens is sometimes, like if one is due for, sometimes one may have good karma as well as bad karma. And so they enjoy the credits of the good karma, they go into higher planets, and then they suffer the bad karmas and they go into lower planets, or they come into animal births. So either of this may happen. And if they have very abominable activities, then they do not get a physical body. They get subtle body, they go into hellish planets and suffer very, very terrible conditions. And these four things that I was mentioning, the sinful pillars like meat eating, gambling, illicit sex, and intoxication, that puts one into extreme suffering actually. So I hope that addresses your question.
We can conclude in that way, depending on the nature and gravity of sinful activities. Common man, forget about the devotee, they are on the top. The common man, depending on their quantum of sinful activities, they, after leaving the present body, they have to go to the hell, get the punishment, and only after that they will get the second body. Is it like that?
It all depends, Kakule. Okay, see, sometimes the punishment could be the next body also. Okay, sometimes the punishment could be in the next body itself. So it all depends on, like, okay, whatever. See, there are many. There are 8.4 million species, and sometimes, like, okay, one has to go through hellish. One has to go into hellish planets, and sometimes one has to come to the material world to suffer in a hellish way. We may come across many people that, okay, whom we see they are suffering like hell in this lifetime. Everyone is misbehaving, treating them so badly and suffering so miserable things. And we may be feeling like, why are this person going through this? But we do not know their past. We see the nature of a devotee is we should be compassionate to everyone. We should intensely pray for them, not thinking, okay, oh, definitely they must have had a bad past. It is a very nice thing this person is going through. At least they are getting purified. No, we should not think like this. That means we are hard-hearted. We should have a soft heart to think that, okay, yes, they're going through a lot of sufferings. Definitely they may have, definitely Krishna has some plan for them, because Krishna does not intervene with these laws of karma. These are laws of karma are made. Okay, it is all acting in Krishna's direction. He does not intervene in each living. Oh, that person is suffering like this, that person, and he does not enjoy this, because all of them are Krishna's children. See, you know, in US, they have renamed jails to rehabilitation centers. I may be rehabilitation center or something like that. So what they have, no, not rehabilitation. They have a similar name. I don't remember the exact name, but they have a similar name. Um, Correction center. Yeah. So in this correction center, what happens is they want to make sure. See, their main objective is they want to punish those who have committed severe crimes. They want to give them capital punishment or whatever. But the other people who are there, they want them to go through correction. They even want the hardcore criminals to go through correction so that they are eventually able to lead a better life after seeing that, okay, what they have suffered in the past. That is the whole purpose of material world. We are here in this material world because each of us are all sinful people. We landed here somehow or other, okay, with a sinful past. And 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 we talked about this. Okay, see, there are two types of people: asuras and suras. Suras means those who obey the orders of the Lord, and asuras means those who do not obey the order of Lord. And those who do not obey the order of Lord, what will happen is, see, if a child is not obeying his parent, what is the natural thing? Obviously they are going to get punishment, time out. Okay, some person will get in India. Okay. But uh, um, but this is the natural thing. Krishna doesn't want anyone to suffer. And so, which is why Krishna is giving that assurance that, okay, one who surrenders to me, sarva dharma parityaja mamekam sharanam raja, aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayashami masucha. Abandon all the nonsense things, all your business, all the religions, you abandon those, and you just take shelter of me. I am promising you, I will I will relieve you from all the sinful reactions. That means all the suffering that you're going, I am promising you, I will take away all that from you. And then he's saying, Ma Sucha, do not worry, do not fear. Hare Krishna. Does that help, Kaku?
Yeah. But I will further study, and if there is anything, I'll come back to you in the next meeting or in between.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can, if you come across that, you can share with me that
Yeah,
specific.
definitely. Because I have read in Bhagavatam and Prabhupada's book. Well, I might have some error in reading that. I will check and come back to you.
Yes. Please.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Does anyone have any other question?
I think Kite will have one question. He wrote it.
Okay, Kite Prabhu.
Oh, hang on, I'm muted. Yeah, I had, I don't really think this, I don't know how this relates to anything we talked about, but, I don't know if you can answer it or not, but, so I think this was like last week. I think I was just reminded of it as we were talking about like birth and all that. When I was working at the hospital, I had this patient I had to discharge. They were they had just had a they had just had a baby. And they were had an indication they were like spiritual, but I don't know if they were related to like a devotee or anything. Um, but when I was taking this person down, there was like certain things they did, like when they were allowed to, I don't know, take the baby home, and then like the mother, the like grandmother, she did something before we were allowed to leave. I don't know what it was. So um I was just trying to kind of figure that out. So I don't
Okay.
know if that's something you might have any knowledge of.
Um, no, I'm not sure. Like so, uh, your question was like what they would have done. Is that your question?
Um
I'm not understanding the question actually. If you could.
so let me think how to phrase this. Like um okay, I'll try one more time. So anyway, so that I had this patient, and this patient, so they just had a baby, okay?
Mhm.
So like I saw like the baby was there, they were just, gonna bring it home from the hospital, and there were like certain things that they did like right before like we were able to leave with the baby. Like the grandmother, she I looked away for a minute, but I don't know if she was she like walked out of the hospital room for us, and like had to do something before we could go. So I don't know if she
Okay.
was like
Okay.
playing or like for the baby's safety or like what, or
Yeah. So there are many rituals. See, as a devotee, like, okay, one thing that is very simple, and many people do many things. Like, okay, we can always pray, but the easiest thing to do is when a baby is born, we can chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in their ears. That makes it most auspicious. And when someone is leaving his body, at that time, the easiest thing that we can do is chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra in their ears. That makes it most auspicious. And if devotees are there, when someone is leaving their body, then they can do kirtan, and that makes it most auspicious. This is the most easiest thing actually. So absolutely very easy. And there are different people who do different rituals, but this is the very easiest thing, and this gives the highest benefit. That's what Krishna is saying. I could not answer your question, but I hope this one addresses.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, that's okay. I feel it might be maybe ask a woman that just
Yes,
they
yes, yes.
will fail at the ball. They might know what exactly it was.
You can ask, and you can, if you get to know, you can also share with us.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. As anyone else has any question? Yes, Dhruva Mataji, you want to ask something?
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
You said when we will get a new body or a new reincarnation, at that time when what is our last thought of the of our previous body, then they will. I don't know how to ask properly.
That becomes the reason for the next body.
Yeah. My question is, what should be our last thought of our body? Then it will affect in our next body, and how we get this kind of thoughts, and what is that thought?
Hare Krishna. This is the perfect question. This is the perfection of applying human intelligence, where we think that, okay, what is that thought? What should be that thought which can make us perfect our life? So what Krishna is saying is, and I will go ahead and display this particular verse. I'll just type that in. So can you see my screen?
No.
Is it now visible?
Yeah.
So in the 8th chapter, 5th verse of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying, Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram yah prayati sa madbhavam yati nasti atra samshaya. Samshaya, doubt. Okay. And na, this na is no doubt. So what Krishna is saying, let's see. And whoever at the end of this life quits his body, remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. That means when they attain Krishna's nature, that means they go back to the spiritual world. They do not come to this material world. Okay, and that also Krishna explains. He goes in most detail actually on that. So this is the purpose of Bhagavad Gita, that how one can be permanently going out of this suffering. And in order to do that, one has to remember Krishna. One has to, and how can one do that? See, if one is maintaining a dog, always thinking of that dog. Many people have dogs. They love the dog more than anything else. What happens at the end of the life? Whatever they are most attached to, entire life will go as a movie in a quick succession. And suddenly, quick picture will come of the thing that they're attached to most. And what is that? Dog? They get the dog and they become dog in their next life. Very unfortunate, but that is the reality, Krishna is saying. And if they are able to remember Krishna somehow at the end of the life, they go out of the cycle of birth and death. Not only that, they go to the spiritual world. Okay, they can directly be there in the spiritual world, serving Krishna. Okay, and how to do that? You asked this question also. So in order to do that, one has to cultivate to always remember Krishna. Man mana bhava mad bhakto. Krishna is saying this. Let me share this verse also. Krishna is saying this. He is giving this conviction with full conviction. He is saying, Man mana. This is in the 9th chapter. Man mana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi yuktvaivam atmana mat parayana. Krishna is telling this to Arjun, and through Arjun, he is telling it to all of us. Engage your mind always in thinking of me. Become my devotee. Offer obeisances, pranam to me, and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely, surely you will come to me. The key word is surely you will come to me. That means when you come to And Krishna says this elsewhere in Bhagavad Gita, that once you come to me, you do not have to go back to this material world. You will always live with me and you can serve me. This is the essence. This is such a perfect question. I hope it answers your question, Mataji.
Yeah, thank you. But I read in Buddhism or in some Buddhism books, they're written like we choose our parents, we whatever we are, we choose this life. It means it's exact things like nobody wants to become a animal from the human life, and uh, some bacteria, some germs. It depends on karma, or it depends on what they were thinking at the end of their life.
Yeah, so here is the thing, like, okay. So there is it certainly, when they have to get the next body, that depends on their karma and the desires, as we discussed. The desires that will carry, and that desires will manifest as the last thought in their life. It comes, and nowadays science has also researched and found out that at the end of the life, because so far they never got a person who could be there and they could test on that person when they are leaving their body. But now many people are on they are hospitalized, and like their brain may be being monitored. But during that time, somehow like they got some trends that when people are leaving their body at the last moment, suddenly their brain goes through a hyperactive mode for last few moments, and then the person dies. And during that time, like Krishna has already said this, that the entire life moves fast forward and this picture comes out. So, so that is the verdict of the Bhagavad Gita. As far as the Buddhist philosophy is concerned, we can discuss that, but that's a longer discussion. So we can address that in our next session, actually, because Prabhupada explains that in very, very detailed, okay, what are the, why it says so, who the who the audience for that is, um, for understanding that science. So it is like this. If I have to say in very short, see, like there are different types of theories to understand God. Many people say, okay, this is God, that is God, this is God, that is God, right? But God is one. We may call sun as Surya Dev in India, and we may call him as sun in US. That same sun will be called as something else in Malaysia, in Philippines, in some of our regional languages. But it is the same sun. Okay. But now if you see, we understand sun to the extent of the maturity that we have. There is one that is, some people understand sun by the sun rays of the sun. That is the limited. Like, okay, in my window, when sunlight is coming, I say that, okay, sun is here. But this is sun rays. This is not the sun. Some people look at the sun and say, oh, that is that sun, right? They look at that sun as like huge, like outside of this earth, like sun is giving light from such a far distance, how big it will be. They understand, okay, these are the dimensions of sun. They understand that sun is like this. A child may look at like sun ray and think it is a sun. And many people call that also, this is sun. But that sun ray is not sun. But that planet that is there, that is another version of sun. And the third thing is, some people who have got an even higher realization, they understand that ultimately this sun god in the spiritual world is also a personality, Surya Dev, who is under whose direction the activities of sun is orchestrated. Okay. So that is sun god. So one who understands sun god, like, okay, he also understands how can I get and meet sun god? How can I go into this planet sun? So There are different levels. Just like mathematics, a class first standard or a first grade student also studies mathematics, and a fifth grade and a 12th grader and a college student also studies mathematics, but they are all at different level, but it is the same mathematics. If you give the mathematics 3 plus 5 to a first grader, he might be struggling to do it, but you give it to a fifth grader or a 10th grader, they may easily do it. You give a calculus to a 10th grader, now he will not be able to do it. I'm just giving an example, or a university level mathematics calculus formula, but it is the same subject. It is a different level of depth. But I can share more details, okay, because if we go into that, there will be there are different sections. Srila Prabhupada has given very, very clearly, and when we understand that, it will be very crystal clear around that. Does that help, through Mataji?
Yes, definitely. Thank you. And my own more question is, you said Hare Krishna Mahamantra purifies our heart, purifies our bodies. When um, I go through that, and in my mind, I have all the time one question is, how it purify my heart, how anyone purify their heart, their body by this name, by this holy name. I have a lot of respect on this Maha Mantra. I respect that. I used to chant, but I just want to know how it clarify or how it purify our heart, our mind, and yeah, that's my question.
Okay, very nice question. Yes, I will address this, and we'll take this as the last question. See, Hare Krishna Mahamantra is a sound vibration, and sound is very powerful. See, if we just take an example of sound for a new driver or even for an old driver, I want to ask Mataji, do you drive in the road?
Yeah, sometimes.
You drive sometimes, right? So let's say if you're driving and you know the sound of the cop's vehicle, right?
Yeah, sure.
So suddenly when you're driving, you hear the cop's vehicle. Then first thing what happened? Like you get scared, like as you're driving, right? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Did they watch out me? Right? Now you may or may not be doing anything faulty, but what happens? Immediately there is an instill of fear that comes into your heart. No cop came to you also. You just heard a sound. You did not even see the cop yet. Would you agree?
Yeah, sure.
So
Yeah, I will.
that is sound. Another thing, if you see, like there are many audio systems. Okay, and in audio systems, if the audio systems are put in a glass room, you put a high wattage glass room and you put the sound on very high, what will happen? Have you ever seen the glass can crack?
I heard that, but I never seen that.
Yeah, the glasses can crack. And what is this? This is just a material sound. And it is a result of material sound that the glasses crack. And what is this Hare Krishna Mahamantra? Golokero Premadhan Harinam Shankirtan. This is not a material sound vibration. This is a sound from the spiritual world, which has been brought by Srila Narad Muni, who is always chanting the holy name. So Srila Narad Muni brought this, and through the disciplic succession, this sound vibration has been shared, and especially Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his mission was that, okay, spread this holy name. And when this holy name is being spread across, what happens is, this is the by chanting this holy name, we are calling out for Radha and Krishna. Okay, it does not have to go through any layers. Okay, when we are calling out, when we are crying out for Hare, is for call out for Srimati Radharani, and Krishna and Ram are the calling out for, or for the calling out for Krishna in his different forms. Ram is can be different actually. It can be it is actually Shri Radha Ramanji. We're calling the pleasure potency. When we are calling out like a child, with the intensity of our call, with the intensity that we call out for, our heart is getting purified through that sound vibration. Because birth after birth, we have been contaminated. Envy, lust, anger, greed, pride, and false ego is there in our heart. We want to be controller. I'm just muting everyone. We 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 have wanted to be controller at all times. We are in want of wealth. We are in want of opposite sex, and we are in want of people should give me importance. Dhanam janam sundarim. And because of all these expectations in our heart, we are constantly suffering in this material world. But what the Hare Krishna Mahamantra does is, and and we are doing everything to give love and to get love, but we are trying our hands in wrong places. We are trying to interact at wrong places, and through the trials and tribulations of this world, we are getting frustrated. But what is this? What does this Hare Krishna Mahamantra do? Hare Krishna Mahamantra is calling out to Lord Krishna and Srimati Radharani. Srimati Radharani is the storehouse of love. Okay, and when we call out for them, what happens is, by their mercy, that love which is in our heart, but it is covered by with the cloud. We are not able to experience it because of the cloud that is covered in our heart. As a result of this calling out using this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, what happens is that cloud starts dissipating. And as a result of that, we feel the joy from within. If you are in a kirtan, if you are not singing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, if you are not chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, or if you are just distracted and if you are singing, then you will not experience any ecstasy. But if out of helplessness, if you cry out for the Lord, you will feel ecstasy. No matter whatever one could be and by you, I mean like any one of us. It means for me also. So when we call out for the Lord with helplessness, ecstasy is going to come. And when we cry out for the Lord in the mood that, Lord, I want to serve you. I don't want ecstasy. I want to serve you, but I don't have any taste. Please bestow, please give me that taste by which I can constantly chant your holy name. Then we can experience it. If we engage in service, then we can experience it. Hare Krishna. We'll go into more details on this, because when we come to temple during Sankirtan, we should sing with the mood that, oh Lord, please purify me from within. Okay, please allow me to constantly chant the holy name. When we really experience that okay, what a joy it is there in this. We may get a slight taste, and because of that, like, okay, we get inspired to carry on.
Yeah, but there are five senses which equally important, not only hearing,
Yes, but Dhruva
or
Mataji, we will have to stop it here. But if you have any questions, I would say that okay, we can take it up in the next class, because I have a hard stop.
okay, sure, no worries.
Yes. Lalu Koko,
Thank you for
I
the
saw that you
class.
also had a question, but we can take it up in the next session. Yes, thank you very much, Mataji. Thank you everyone for your divine association. I know it is very late in India. We'll try to, from next week, I'm thinking since our question answer session is going for long, we'll try to have the class for 1 hour, and then like, okay, we will have the question answers for half an hour. Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much. Please take care, and my sincere prayers for all of you and your families. Hare Krishna. Alukaku, you want to say something at the very end? I can't hear you. I can only see your movement. We can take it up in the next session. That is okay? Yes. Okay. Hare Krishna.